All right, we'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Harriman City Council meeting, March 8th, 2016. We'll start our meetings with a prayer by Councilman Wright, then we'll follow that by pledging to the flag. Councilman Wright?
Yeah, before we have our prayer, I'd like to recognize the passing of two of our former council people that I'm sure probably everybody in this room knows, and that was Mr. Ron Coleman and Sambo Clendens. Johnny, but we all knew him as Sambo. Both men served for several years on the city council and other activities throughout the community. And this makes, I was thinking this makes 3 former councilmen in like the last month. If you would bow your head with me. Heavenly Father, our hearts and prayers do go out to all those who have passed away, their loved ones since we last met. May our spirit be one of condolence, and Father, may your spirit in their lives be a comfort and solace to those that have lost a loved one as they go through the mourning period. Be with us who are gathered here tonight for this meeting, and may our actions and deeds be acceptable to you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chris Saylor. Here. Wayne Beth. Here. Buddy Holly. Here. Kenyon Me. Here. Ken Minott. Here. Lonnie Wright.
here.
Included in everyone's packet is a copy of the minutes from the March 1st meeting. Is there a motion to approve those? Motion. Motion by Councilman Me, second. Second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Me. No, Councilman Holly. The floor is open for questions or discussion. If anyone has any corrections or amendments to the minutes or deletions, being none, call the roll, please.
Chris Saylor.
Yes.
Wayne Beth.
Yes.
Buddy Holly. Yes. Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Ken Minott.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the bills from the previous month, payment of the bills from the previous month.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Ayler, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Minott. Councilman Ayler.
No, sir.
Councilman Minott.
No, sir.
Floor is open for questions or discussion. Call the roll.
Chris Saylor.
Yes.
Wayne Beth.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Ken Minott.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
At this time, we're delegations from the audience. If anyone would like to address council, you may do so at this time. If you would stand and state your name, try and limit your comments to 3 minutes to accommodate others that might like to speak. Yes, ma'am. It's almost that time, isn't it?
It is almost that time. Tennessee Medieval Fair, the second annual, is coming up in May, the last 3 weekends in May, including Memorial Day. And so we've been. Thank you. So you can see our new billboard art. Here it has King Arthur and Medieval Fair. Camelot Lives is the theme. And we picked the historical year of 500. It's when people actually thought King Arthur actually lived and was a Roman soldier and kept the Saxons at bay and united the country. So it's all about a celebration of unity and the family. So as you know, we have professional, family-friendly entertainment. The budget is $40,000, and we spent it last year, we'll spend it this year. Jousting, human combat chess, acrobats, trick shows, belly dancing, Celtic music, folk dancing, puppet shows, street characters. It's a huge, huge event. With the Medieval Village, we have period quality crafts and food and beverages, including beer. Thank you for the beer permit. As far as our advertising plan, we have our plan. Last year we spent over $20,000. We'll spend that again. This time we've decided to go bigger as far as billboards. Instead of having 9 on the commuter roads, we'll have 3 on interstates and then 1 in Kingston Pike. Magazines will be in the Knoxville Mercury, which was the Metropulse, to hit the downtown people. Also Southern Biker, because people who like to ride have money and they like adventure and they'll come. Also HD Visions magazine, that's a direct mailer in Anderson County, plus the newspapers, Knoxville Sentinel, and Roane County News. We have Renaissance magazine online, Facebook ads, website, event calendars, plus radio, drink coasters, posters, signs, programs, live promotions. It's a big thing leading up to that. So the billboards will go up at the end of March and they'll run for 2 months. The dates, again, as I said, the last 3 weekends in May, starting on the 14th and 15th and ending on the 30th, which is Memorial Day. The ticket prices, we try to keep them reasonable, but up them just slightly. So it's $16.95 for 13 and up, $8.95 for ages 5 to 12, free for the little kids, and free parking. So our goal for this year, continue to have smooth and safe operations. Obviously, we had about 6,000 people last time, so our goal is to increase attendance, hopefully to 8,000 to 10,000. As far as our participants, last year we had like 26 street characters, you know, with the theater groups, and we hope to have more like 40 or 50. The big thing for us is to break even, because our investors have loaned us $750,000. That's $750,000 that we have personally borrowed that we pay interest on. And so instead of taking 10 to 20 years for these things to really kick, we're hoping that 3 to 5, and this is hopefully the big turning point year. Just as far as like jobs, I didn't put that on there, but this last year we spent $90,000 in employing other people, and that doesn't include the stipend that we pay ourselves. So that's subcontractors, that's employees, and primarily that's all in Roane County, not to mention all the materials. So all that money that's invested is to develop this and to have this become this ongoing, exciting thing in Roane County. Just a couple of concerns. I had heard that there might be some road closures along Spencer with some road work. It may not affect us because Spencer turns and the medieval fair goes up. Also, any other competing events like the bike race, we don't think that's going to...
I think that'll be a complimentary event. I mean, you've got 300 people, a state championship race. You just said that you're advertising in Southern Biker, but I guess maybe that's biker as in motorcycle biker.
Yeah, but if there's another magazine, we would still consider it. If there's a cycle magazine, you would recommend.
I can assure you that this event would be promoted through the materials handed out to the bike racers as they come in. We put together a packet for them, and since it's state championships this year, we're going to have a maximum attendance of, my guess is 200 to 300 racers in town. So you can just about guarantee that they will be at your event.
Who's doing the bike event?
No, it's organized by the Roane Alliance and the Chamber of Commerce, but they have local sponsorship, and Bike Club is Knoxvello out of Knoxville that actually does a lot of the volunteer work to make it happen. So
What's the date of the bike?
it's the 14th and 15th, so the same weekend as the kickoff here. So I think the timing's good. As far as any street closures or anything like that, it's early in the morning on Saturday the 14th. That just one side, I think southbound of 27, would be closed for 2 hours, and so I don't think it'll impact access to your.
Because obviously complimentary events, I know Ken, you wanted us to always cross promote, things like that, and so we definitely want to do that. We just, with tourists coming in, we just didn't want anything unsafe, so we just wanted to make sure that we're communicating. So, and then I just need to know more about the street signs and what the ordinances are. And then at one point we talked about possibly doing banners up here, but I didn't know the status of that. So.
Let's get together after the next couple of days on the road closure, unless it's utility board or the county. I'm not sure what that would be, but we'll find out what that is.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. It's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Thank you. We look forward to it. If you didn't go last year, make it a point to go, because it's one of the, I was so impressed. It was truly first class. And there were people from all around, bordering states and further. So it's impressive. I'm excited. I'm going back. Anybody have any questions? Still under delegations, if anyone would like to address council.
I'm Paul Gibson, and I'm going to speak just a few minutes. Chris, don't start the clock yet. I'm a retired school teacher, and I started an animal advocate group about this time last year, and we're having one of our big fundraisers this Saturday at the Harriman American Legion Hall from 5 until 7, and I'll pass these out in just a minute. I'm a retired teacher, so I need audience participation. Buddy, I need you. Chris, I need you. Ken, I need you. Lonnie, I need you. I'm going to read a statement, and I need you to say true or false. Okay, this is a little lesson on Roane County Paws. Roane County Paws celebrates its 1-year anniversary on March the 9th.
True.
True. Roane County Paws is currently not a 501c3.
False.
That's false. We are. Roane County Paws has found homes for over 100 animals this year. True. We are currently pulling dogs from the Roane County Animal Shelter to place in foster homes and on northern transports.
True.
True. We've pulled over 50 dogs from Roane County Animal Shelter, and they're all doing amazingly well. Several neighboring counties actually have euthanasia rates less than 12%.
That's false.
True. Yeah.
I need to
Last-
meeting this, but yeah.
Last March, Roane County Animal Shelter had a euthanasia rate of 75%. True. Roane County Paws spends funds and resources on animals inside of Roane County only.
False.
That's true. Sometimes we spend out of our own pocket for other counties, but we try to keep our money in Roane County. Roane County Animal Shelter is currently intaking dogs and cats from Anderson County.
False.
True. Been going on for months. Roane County Paws has over 10,000 likes on our Facebook page.
True.
False. Unfortunately, we only have 3,100, but we're really proud of them. I think it's good. Roane County Paws only adopts out after we have an in-home visit.
True.
That's true.
That's good.
Last year, Oak Ridge Animal Shelter only euthanized one dog.
False.
That's true. That is according to Amy Starkey, who works with HPAN and is closely affiliated with the Oak Ridge Animal Shelter. So, crazy things happen. Shelters with low euthanasia rates have three things in common: a huge volunteer program, northern transports, and a fostering program.
True.
True. That's true. Roane County Paws delivers free pet food to the homes of low-income families.
True.
True. We deliver free dog houses to those dogs without one.
True.
True. We have a close working relationship with the Rockwood City Animal Shelter in Mark Neely. True. I could just say false to that one. Each dollar that we spend is generated through donations and fundraisers such as yard sales and our upcoming chili supper.
True.
True. The majority of money that we spend is used for spaying, neutering, and veterinary care of homeless pets, as well as pets of low-income families.
True.
That's true. So we're so proud of Roane County Paws. We've only been together a year tomorrow, and we have done amazing things. It's through the grace of God. We're a faith-based group, and we do give Him the glory for all the things that we've accomplished this year. So if you would just take one and pass it around, I would be very appreciative.
Well, that organization was started because of a dog that we had here with.
Yes,
What was the dog's
Max,
name? Yeah.
Max, and it was in January of last year. Some of you may have remembered the story. It was an emaciated Shar-Pei dog that was photographed randomly on a street close to Cumberland Street Park. And it went viral. It was just a quirky thing that the picture, the dog looked bad, but I've seen worse, but this particular picture just went viral. It was in California, New York within an hour. It was just insane. And the Humane Society called me. I was getting all these phone calls, and the dog actually died. It was pulled into foster care with the Humane Society of Tennessee Valley, and they were going to give it a blood transfusion the next morning, and it died on its own, passed away. So Chris and I were talking on the phone, because it was a nationwide event, it was very highly publicized. And Chris was going, this is so sad for our community. And I said, Chris, something really great's going to happen. I don't know what it is, but this was like a sacrificial lamb. And anyway, nothing happened. A couple of weeks went by, nothing happened. I thought, okay, I think I'm supposed to make it happen. I'm the one that's talking. I better get up and do the do. So we created Roane County Paws, and we're getting stronger and bigger every day. And it's been a blessing.
That's good, thank you.
Here's your other.
How much money is it, what's your annual budget gonna be, do you know?
Well, we're 501c3 right now. Our annual budget, to be honest with you, our budget, we spend approximately $1,000 a month for bedding And we take in any donation that we can, and the fundraisers, we've had 4 fundraisers this year. So right now, we're looking at a budget of, you know, like 10 to 15,000, and we push to get the money. I mean, it's, the people, that we have 9 people on our board of directors, and everybody in the group, if we run into a problem, we go into our own pocketbooks. Whatever needs to be done, we make sure that those dogs and cats get what they need. And but we've been blessed. It's worked out beautifully. It's been a beautiful year. We've had a lot of success and a lot of stories with a lot of happy endings. And you can't sack them all, and we know that. I would never advocate for a no-kill shelter. I do advocate for a low-kill shelter, because I think it's unrealistic to ask for, you know, perfection. But Rowan County Animal Shelter is working with us, and we're introducing people from other counties, Oak Ridge and Knoxville, that do northern transports, and you can actually sweep in and pull $20 to $40 at a time from a shelter, boom, and within 3 days you can have them on a transport up north where they're 100% adopted. It's amazing, amazing.
Thank you. Still under delegations?
Okay, I'm Joanne again, and I was wondering if anybody went out to see.
Yeah, I think city manager there, he gave us a report on it. You want to report?
I went back to the list we didn't have available last week when Lincoln Drive came up. It was graded a D out of the A through F rating, which is, as I said last week, our current paving project is addressing about 40% of those streets that are D or F. This particular street was not included in this phase of the paving. It would most likely be included in the next phase of the paving, which we would anticipate to get another significant portion of the degraded streets. But as you all are aware, we have not set the funding level or the timing for the second phase at this point in time.
She asked about another street. Which one was it?
Garrison.
Garrison. Yes, Garrison is in this particular round of paving. It is a smaller street, and Garrison actually has some areas that are deteriorating to the point where the gravel is basically the pavement is turning into gravel. Now, I did refer Lincoln Street to HUB to try and take a look at, because there were 3 utility cuts that appeared to have not ever been patched with a hot mix. They appeared to have only cold patch in place, which should have been a temporary type of patching until the hot patch could be done, and they may have had that on the schedule anyway. There was also a sewer manhole cover that was significantly higher than the grade of the pavement around the sewer manhole cover. HUB had what I'll call ramped up pavement to make as smooth of a transition to that change in elevation as is possible. I asked them to take a look at that as well, to kind of give you an idea of what that was like. It was like when Livonia Street was under construction back here, and the manhole, the tops of them had been exposed, but they hadn't come in and done the final paving yet. And you had a little bit of pavement that came up around each one. That is the condition of the one on Lincoln Street presently, which doesn't appear to be under any type of construction. So I've asked them to take a look at that as well.
Can I answer your questions? Does that help?
I don't know what he said. I heard what he said. But he hadn't said it.
Didn't make this round, but it looks to make the next round because it's rated a D, but the cuts that are made, he's going to try to get improvements made to them to make it smoother. And Garrison Street was on the list. I think you'd ask about it. It is going to be paid. So it is going to get some attention, it sounds like. Still in delegations. Move on to old business. Councilman Wright?
No.
Councilman Meyer?
No, sir.
Councilman Ayler.
No, sir.
Councilman Best.
No, sir.
Councilman Meade.
No, sir.
Councilman Holly. Fire Department.
No report this.
Police Department. Dr. Kirby.
You asked last week about what it would cost in penalty and interest to move the date to April 11th. I think I talked to most of you, but for those who didn't get the message, I've estimated to be about $4,000 of lost penalty and interest.
Because we extended the.
Extended deadline, yes.
Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you. Allison?
Just an update on the Harriman Hospitality case. The attorney who represents Rotabata, Mr. Baisley, sent me another letter asking about the settlement because we were waiting to hear from other counsel on that case. But ultimately, no action has been taken yet, and that was passed at the docket sounding, so there's not any upcoming court dates as far as that case goes. I don't know if this is part of my report or not, but last week we had that attorney, Scott Gibson, come in, and he had a financial advisory agreement to propose to the city, and I've got that. I don't have any issues. You get up to me. That's the original copy he provided to us. So if the city is okay with it, I don't have any issues.
This is an offer that he's made?
That was part of his presentation last week. The city has to sign and approve that before we can move forward with what he was proposing.
Did we authorize me to sign this with your approval, or do we need to authorize?
I don't recall offhand. I just know you wanted me to read it.
I think it was approved as part of the resolutions for the funding.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Thank you for doing that. Anything else?
No.
Rebecca here? No. Kevin?
The Parks and Recreation surveys that I think each one of you have received a copy of the results from that survey, and I'm also working with Rebecca to try to have the results of the survey posted on the city's website before the end of this week, so that people can see the information that we received. We had about 154 people do the surveys, and that will be part of our grant application submittal for this year. I am in the process of trying to schedule a conference call for later this week with CDP to discuss the grant application and what our timing will be for that moving forward as we look to, I think it's in April, it's either April or May date to have that application submitted. With regard to the rescue truck for the fire department, just give you an update on that. We do anticipate the truck to be delivered on or about March the 28th from Ford. It will then be sent to the local contractors to equip it with the modifications that we've requested. And so I would estimate that the truck will go in service probably in late April or the 1st of May this year. With regard to a couple of personnel positions, I want to let you know that the advertisement for the recreation director position will be in the newspaper this week. I believe it's scheduled to be in tomorrow's edition so that we can start taking applications for that. Drac will be staying on with the city in the position of Public Works Director, and we have hired Josh Strickland to serve in the position of Codes Enforcement and Animal Control, and his first day with the city will be on the 21st.
Anything else?
Just a question.
Yes, sir.
Did we ever find anything about the tennis courts and stuff in the SGO?
We've not. I've called and talked with Cindy Boshiers on several occasions about that. She has been calling Atlanta on several occasions, and she has not gotten an update on it. would anticipate probably next week, if we haven't heard anything, we'll go ahead and begin taking the fencing down as directed by council to try to have it ready for the opening of the TCU season.
Any more questions?
Yes, the dog catcher, codes enforcer, full-time position.
Josh Strickland. Taking the responsibilities that Maria was doing from the standpoint of the property maintenance codes, which had originally been divided between her and Sherry, and then he'll also be taking the responsibilities that Donald was doing from the standpoint of animal control. Donald will work full-time in the street department.
And who's the report?
He reports to me.
So, okay.
Did Josh work for the county, didn't he, Kevin?
He has worked for the city before, but he's presently working for the county.
Any more questions? Committee reports. I have one committee report to report. Prisoners are going to be working down at Riverfront Park, clearing that bank again. If you see anybody down there in Morgan County, prisoners will be down there for a couple of days, clearing the brush so you can see the river again. Anybody else have a committee report? Move on to the agenda. Discuss and possibly approve a certificate of compliance for Mr. Wright, Spirits owner Ernie Wright and David Moorfield, 1741 Rome State Highway, Harriman, Tennessee, 37748. Recommendation is to approve the certificate of compliance. They have passed the background check and check done by the police department and Chief Hyde. Motion by Councilman Naylor, second by Councilman Best. Councilman Naylor? No, sir. Councilman Best? No, sir. Councilman, floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Chris Taylor?
Yes.
Wayne Best?
Yes.
Buddy Holly?
Yes.
Kenyon Me?
Yes.
Ken Minnet?
Yes.
Lonnie Wright?
Yes.
Beer board appointment, I don't have one. It has 2 empty spots. If you have anybody that you would like to refer, let me know, please. Discuss and possibly amend the ordinance 0216-01, an ordinance to levy the additional sales and use tax within the municipal boundaries of the city of Harriman, Tennessee, which will finance paving in the future. We wanted the ordinance to reflect that wording for infrastructure, I think, in road resurfacing. Does everybody have a copy of that in their packet? I know there were a couple of them that were floating around. 0316-01. If I could ask for, we passed it last week. We weren't sure how the ballot would read, and we called and verified with the election commission that if we want, well, the election commission said that the resolve portion of the ordinance would be what's on the ballot. So anything that's under, now therefore be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Harriman, Tennessee as follows. On what you have in your packet, what we want on there is in the paragraph just above it. Whereas the City Council of the City of Harriman, Tennessee deems it to be in the best interest of the city and its citizens to increase the sales tax levy to fund infrastructure improvements within the city. If I could ask for a motion to approve this on first reading, to have that paragraph under the resolve portion. Do you all understand that? Motion. Second. Motion by Councilman Best and a second by Councilman Ayler to pass ordinance 0316-01 and have it reflect the paragraph that I just read under the resolve portion, which will have a clarified portion on the second reading. Motion by Councilman Best and a second by Councilman Ayler. Councilman Best. No, sir. Councilman Ayler. Yes, sir. Floor is open for question or discussion.
Is there a resolve section here?
The be it enacted is the same terminology that.
Now therefore be it enacted. Okay.
From what she said, explain to me, everything under that will be on the ordinance, all the sections. And when we have our second reading that paragraph just above that will be listed as section 1. I would think we would want that listed up front.
All that'll be on the ballot?
I think so.
It'll be confusing.
That's why I wanted it up front. It wasn't anything that we could tailor and put on there. They take that section, from what I understand, put it on there.
Can we move everything else about it, just leave that alone?
Well, I don't think we could do that, like the sections 1 through, I guess, 7 now. All this like statutory language that needs to be in there, saying what the ordinance is. And talking with the city manager, he had directed me to some materials from Cleveland, Tennessee, and they had one similar, and this is almost verbatim what they did. I mean, our sections, except the added section 1, are the same as what was on the 02-1601 ordinance. It's just we have to have that in the language, saying that it follows the, the Local Option Revenue Act, and we're increasing it from this percent to that percent. So that's all statutory and on there, and I know it can be confusing for people who aren't, used to reading something like this all the time. But we can certainly move that last whereas under there if that's what you want. But to remove the statutory stuff, we can't do that. And it needs to say, there's going to be an election, and they got 30 days after that to make it official, and all that kind of thing. And the only other difference between these sections and the other one is I changed city treasurer to the CFO, because by the time this is enacted through an election, we won't have a city treasurer anymore. So just to reduce that confusion and just transferring over our terminology.
Okay, good, thank you.
I mean, what are we gonna see when we walk in the booth? Vote yes if you want to increase the tax, no if you don't, and then all this.
I think so, and I guess the first one would be, the before enacted, whereas the City Council of the City of Harriman, Tennessee deems it in the best interest of the city and its citizens to increase the sales tax levy to fund infrastructure improvements within the city. If you guys want other language or to expand on that to say and streets.
I like it where it says to provide funding for infrastructure and improvement of city streets.
The one above that, I can copy that language to the second.
If everybody else is in agreement. I mean, I don't know about you all, we joking around last week, I asked, I think it was 8 people, what their understanding of infrastructure was. Guess how many had any idea? You ever watch Waters and World? Well, that's kind of answers.
Was
it 2?
Smart.
2. 25%.
I mean, by definition, it might be redundant, but if it's clearer for the average voter and the average, citizen to understand, we can certainly do that, and I can copy and paste it if you want to wait for the first reading to be at our next meeting, so that way we're not approving something that's going to be changed, like edited, and then coming back with an edited document.
And that would mean if we, the citizens, approve it, if we vote to increase it, that's what those funds will be used for.
Yes. And that's what we're limiting ourselves to. We're going to increase it to 0.25% for infrastructure and improvement of city streets. That's what we want to say.
Well, that's why we're asking it for it. That's why we're asking the people to approve it.
Would it be a way to simplify the question on the ballot, such as, shall the city of Harriman increase the sales tax levy to fund infrastructure improvements within the city? I've seen it on ballots where it's very simplified, where you put all this on there. Could that last whereas be reconstructed to, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. A simple sentence on the ballot would not be confusing.
Are we saying that the election commission is going to determine language that we use in this?
I believe the city manager had expressed to me the election commission will use verbatim what we have in our ordinance. They don't copy and paste or summarize. They just, well, they copy and paste, but they don't change it. They take exactly what we have on our ordinance to send to them, and they put it out there for the voters, exactly how we stated.
Okay, help me out here for a second. We're on the agenda 0216-01, but we're not using that one because this other one says 0316-01.
Right, the 031601, that section 1 actually repeals the other one that was approved because it updates the language, it adds more of the whereas, explaining what we're doing, why we're doing it, and we're gonna, I guess, put a whereas about the use of the tax under the enacted part, whereas what you already approved was very statutory, you know, and kind of dry in nature. It doesn't explain to the voters why we're doing it, what it is. This one is modifying that to have the language you wanted in the explanation.
So it's repealing it and
Yes.
changing it to 0316-01.
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions? This will just be first reading. We'll have second reading at our next meeting. Call the roll, please.
Chris Taylor?
Yes.
Wayne Best?
Yes.
Buddy Holly?
Yes.
Kenny Me?
Yes.
Ken Minnet?
Yes.
Lonnie Wright?
Yes.
Last item on the agenda is discuss and possibly approve new turnout gear for the fire department. Kevin?
The fire department is requesting expenditure of $4,400 to purchase 2 sets of turnout gear. This is a budgeted item. It would provide turnout gear for the incoming chief, as well as one of the captains whose gear has been damaged.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Councilman Best, second by Councilman Ayler. Councilman Best.
No, I think it's good.
Councilman Ayler.
No, sir.
Floor is open for question or discussion.
Was this included in their budget?
Yes. Any more questions? Call the roll, please.
Chris Taylor?
Yes.
Wayne Best?
Yes.
Buddy Holly?
Yes.
Kenny Me?
Yes.
Ken Minnet?
Yes.
Lonnie Wright?
Yes.
Can I ask for a motion to waive the agenda rule, please?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Ayler and a second by Councilman Minot. All in favor of waiving the agenda rule, please vote with aye. Any opposed likewise. A new turn of events have happened since we printed the agenda, and it is in a nature that would be considered an emergency. The Harriman High School Lady Blue Devils basketball team has won the sub-state and are headed to the state championship tournament tomorrow. And it's always customary that we try to do something to help them. This is going to be a very expensive venture for them. And in the past, we have always donated at least $1,000 to the team. And so I would like to ask if the council would consider that as well.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Minot. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Best. Councilman Minot?
No, sir.
Councilman Best? The floor is open for questions or discussion. Check would need to be made out to the Harriman High School lady basketball team, I believe.
Just come out of general fund.
Sundry or somewhere out with
How much you were saying?
1,000
It'd be a sundry fund.
Sundry. I want to encourage everybody to go to Murfreesboro Thursday. This is only the second time in 123 years, I believe, that the women's basketball team has gone to the state. So it's a big deal. They're playing a team that's 31-0 this season, and I believe they're 66-0 for the last 2 years. So it's time for them to
That's
get beat.
Connecticut.
It's time for them to get beat. Call the roll, please.
Chris Taylor?
Yes.
Wayne Best?
Yes.
Buddy Holly?
Yes.
Kenny Me?
Yes.
Ken Minnet?
Yes.
Lonnie Wright?
Yes.
Before we close, I want to remind everybody that Rowan County Paws is having a chili supper and silent auction this Saturday, March the 12th. The Harriman American Legion building from 5 to 7. The Princess Theater Foundation is having a night to honor Jim and Pat Henry, Thursday, March 17th. Those tickets are on sale now as well. It's going to be a good show. The Heartland Series crew has been hired to do the show, so it'll be a good show. Don't forget to shop Harriman, shop Rowan County every chance you get. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion. Second.